Turning now to a developing story, brand new information in the IRS targeting case. Federal investigators saying they may have found thousands of Lois Lerner's missing emails. Now, those emails were previously deemed lost forever due to what the IRS says was a 2011 computer crash. Molly Henneberg joining us now live with more information on what these files could reveal. Molly?
Uma, we're talking about tens of thousands of emails. The IRS has said repeatedly that its IT experts couldn't recover the missing emails. But now, the Treasury Department's Inspector General for Tax Administration says it has retrieved data from IRS backup recovery tapes. Data in the form of emails, possibly 30,000 of them, that IRS Commissioner John Koskinen told lawmakers in June were lost. One Senate committee looking into the IRS and whether it, and specifically Lois Lerner, targeted conservative groups unfairly, says this information may be important in the investigation. As for the IRS, it says, quote, the IRS has cooperated fully in this investigation, including providing TIGTA, that's the Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration, last summer with the disaster recovery tapes that had been initially used during the hard drive gap period and then subsequently recycled, according to standard IRS procedure at the time. Commissioner Koskinen has said for some time he would be pleased if additional Lois Lerner emails from this time frame could be found. Critics of the IRS have long been suspicious about the tax agency's claim that it could not recover Lois Lerner's emails. Ohio Republican Congressman Jim Jordan put out a statement saying, quote, the IRS has continually dragged its feet, changed its story, and been less than forthcoming with information related to its egregious violation of Americans' First Amendment rights. These emails are long overdue and underscore again why we need a special prosecutor to conduct an unhindered investigation. Lawmakers say they have not seen the emails yet. The Senate Finance Committee says that the Treasury Inspector General's office is trying to convert the data from the emails into readable format before turning them over to Congress. Uma?
Molly, thank you very much. Well, deep divides are holding up any compromise on a nuclear deal with Iran, and the differences may force talks to extend past Monday's deadline. Secretary of State John Kerry in Vienna meeting with world leaders hoping to carve out a deal. Here at home, some lawmakers are worried that if a deal is made, it'll be too easy on Tehran and want Congress to have more of a say. Ranking member of the Armed Services Committee, Senator James Inhofe, is joining us here in our studios. It's a pleasure to have you here, sir.
It's nice to be with you.
Before I get to that subject, I want to ask you really quickly about your reaction to the recovery of these lost emails that were once deemed lost forever.
Yeah, I assumed that they would show up sooner or later, and I think it's really great that they have, and I'm anxious to see what is revealed now, because I know from talking to people who were involved who all said the same thing, you know, they destroyed them. I'm delighted.
You're delighted?
Yep.
Because you always knew they were going to be there.
I felt they were.
Moving on now to Iran and the deadline coming up originally from Monday about setting up a deal between Iran, the U.S., and other countries about securing something that will hold and one that will offer some real change. A lot of folks say in this country, why do we need a deal now?
Well, first of all, any deal that you make with Iran is not going to, you can't hold them to. There's no verification. It's not going to happen. We know that, and we know it in advance. But what he's doing, John Kerry, is accepting the fact that they have the centrifuges, they have the ability to make as many as 3 bombs within a year or so. And knowing that, then what his deal is, well, if we go ahead and sign this thing, you have to agree not to finish the bomb before a year is up. What kind of deal is that? You know, it's fine to make a bomb, but just don't use it until for another year. So first of all, you can't negotiate with the terrorists. Secondly, you can't believe what they say, and they won't live up to it. And thirdly, if you think about what's really bad from this administration, we built a ground-based interceptor. It was under construction when Obama first took office. In his first budget, he did a lot of things disarming America, but one of the things he did was take down the effort to finish that ground-based interceptor in Poland with the radar in the Czech Republic. Now that was built because all of our ground-based interceptors are on the West Coast. And so that was built to knock down something. Our intelligence said that Iran would have a weapon and a delivery system by 2015. That was 07, and they're right on target, and that's just a few weeks away. So it's a scary thing to think that we'd walk in there and say, well, you know, we'll make you a deal. You can have a bomb, but don't use it for a year.
Well, even the IAEA says that information, some basic information that it was expecting months ago, has yet to be produced from Iran.
Yeah, well, you're not going to get it from Iran, but again, I keep calling him Senator Kerry. He is one who has always believed that he kind of carries on the policy of appeasement that this administration has, and appeasement has never worked and never will. And tomorrow's Monday. He's not going to come up with a deal.
Let me ask you, I mean, with the stakes being so high, another hot spot in the world, you're just back from a trip to the Ukraine and other nations, Latvia and others, meeting with leaders there about the tensions that are escalating with Russia. Talk to me for a moment about what you have come away with in your discussions.
Well, the thing, Uma, that I was excited about is Poroshenko and Yatsenyuk, the two parties that are the primary parties now, the president and the prime minister. Not many people are aware of this, but I was there when it happened. It takes 5% for a party to end up in Parliament. The communists didn't get 5%. This would be the first time, I think, in their history that they have not had a representation in the Parliament by the Communist Party. That's huge. What does that tell Putin? It says that these people they're seeking freedom. They want to restore what Reagan did many years ago. But Uma, I was also in Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania. And so it's not just in Ukraine. They're trying also, Putin's trying to bring them in. I coined a term. They're trying to re-Reaganize the Soviet Union. So it's a lot of other countries too. Ukraine is under the gun. They're killing people today, and we need to do all we can. What this administration has done there is that, well, we've been supportive. What have they done? They sent over blankets and sleeping bags. That's not what they need. They need heavy artillery, and we have a list of things that they need to defend themselves.
Putin seems to be just getting away with anything he wants to do at this point, and the world can't seem to exert enough pressure on him to hold back.
We have the same thing there as we have in Iraq and Serbia. In Syria, if we would just give them the ability to defend themselves with something heavy, but this administration thinks, well, that just makes them angry, you know. So we have the same situation in Ukraine that we have in many other places, including we should be giving the Kurds and the heavy equipment to use against what's being used against them. People are dying by the hundreds and thousands, and all it would take for us to help our own friends, our own allies over there.
Senator, it's so great to have you here today. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us and about your trip and what you've learned from the leaders there. Let's hope that they get the help that they need.
We hope so, Emma.
Absolutely. Great to see you. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you.